Brought to you by Penguin.
Become Unstoppable, the blueprint from the world's most successful sports team. Written and read by Gilbert Enoka.
Gilbert Enoka has made a great impact on my career in both rugby and life. I worked with him at the Canterbury Crusaders from 1997 to 1999, and during my 3 spells with the All Blacks, the first as head coach, 2000-2001, and then as assistant coach, 2004 to 2011, 2015 to 2017. But he's also had an incredible influence on the All Blacks story, and after joining with the team in 2000, his methods became an integral part of our legacy, like the black of the jersey. While helping us to win 2 Rugby World Cups, Bert, as we fondly call him, became a major cog in our wheel. Much of the success comes from his unusual backstory. Raised in an orphanage in Martin, Bert grew up with gratitude, empathy, and a drive to better himself and others. This helped him to connect with people in a way that might not have been considered by many. I remember when he first started with the team, he gave everyone in the squad an exercise book, our Bible as it came to be known, and we used it to write down our thoughts on leadership, team culture, and mental performance, all of which he discusses in the pages of Become Unstoppable. Later, he introduced the concept of the critical friend to the All Blacks, a mentorship-style program where we met with a trusted other once a week for advice on where we were headed professionally and what we might not have been doing quite so well. No matter what was going on, Bert always put the team first. I first met him in 1982 while playing for the All Blacks in Canterbury. Rugby union was an amateur sport at the time, and I was then an unwanted schoolteacher who worked for a sports shop on the side. Luckily, the owner was prepared to pay my salary whenever I was away with either rugby team, but my performances were underwhelming. Sometimes the ball felt as big as a pumpkin, other times it was as small as an apple. There were games where I scored for fun, and others when I seemed to be stuck down in a hole. Something was missing, and I never understood why. At the time, my job as a sports shop assistant needed me to visit schools around Canterbury, where I peddled equipment and sports gear to physical education departments. One visit was to change my life. When I shared a cuppa with a young PE teacher by the name of Gilbert in Hillmorton High's staff room, I was set on a sporting trajectory that would last for 42 years. Bert was then playing volleyball for New Zealand and studying for a master's in psychology. But even then, he was clearly ahead of his time. I'd lived in a little town called Pataru in South Waikato, where I was taught from a young age that the top 2 inches of my head were critical in rugby, but no one ever told me how to use them. My conversations with Bert gave me that knowledge. He enabled me to find new solutions to old problems on and off the field. A visualization program became part of my weekly training plan, where I practiced the missing parts of my game in my mind. This work complemented the tough physical team sessions that took place under inadequate lighting in rugby's amateur era, where the concept of stretching seemed otherworldly. Discussions with Bert around staying in the present, focusing on the next task, and not worrying about the scoreboard or past mistakes became a part of my arsenal. I felt steadier on the field. I became less error-prone. And, as my performances improved, my self-confidence soared. In the All Blacks changing sheds, I felt like I belonged. Bert had opened these floodgates for me, and our friendship flourished. We were both family men and appreciated that our work couldn't happen without the love and support of our wives and kids. And as I moved into coaching, I was determined to take him with me. His ability to connect with players, his thirst for knowledge, and his expertise in teaching others became my secret weapon.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?